Coming live from Self Love Lounge. Yeah. My partner Dre. Give me the beat. Let me talk to him. Look. Now as I stand here on my feet, I ask myself, do history repeat? I know it do, but this is deep. From the slaves to the streets, from the cotton to the concrete, you give me Willie Lynch vibes. From that white man you hide, but you would kill me for my fucking ride. That's that envy you can't hide. That's that meet me outside, can let it go cause of your fucking pride. Back in the day, they take two field slaves, turn them against each other, something like the Django days. Whichever one was still alive, that's the one that went. The dead slave, he was gone, you won't see him again. And nowadays, they take two rap niggas, start beef, move out the way, then clap niggas. You better know your weapon good if you aim in sight. And if you kill a kid by accident, you got a night. You niggas so tough and Zimmerman is still around, but you will pay a couple K to knock your brother down. You think that God and evil fake? Until you die and reawaken, your soul done made it through them gates of hell, they await you. And everything you ever feared, that's that shit that's gonna take you. And all them demons that you claim, then took the sane out your brain. Now it's time for you to feel the flames. You see them demons like the streets. You can praise them all you want, but in the end you meet defeat. Open your eyes to the truth. But most of y'all can't do that cause them lies be just as fake as you. Been spitting facts all my life. Your brain gotta watch for bullets, but your back you gotta watch for knives. Fuck nigga, you need to listen. I'm competing with the old me. You look at me as competition. I never thought I'd see the day when I would get off on this microphone and say this shit I'm about to say. But hey, it need to be said and they like damn right. Got on my knees, prayed to God just the other night. Help me win the fight against my own kind. And if Black Lives Matter, niggas colorblind. They in denial when they hate it when you speaking facts. But a race war ain't the reason why I got the strap. Don't get it fucked up, cause anyone can feel the shell. But not just anyone gonna kill me for my clientele. Folks be seeking all these questions but don't want the answers. The last time we stuck together was the Black Panthers. But since then, it's a block for a block. They get on TikTok and make a song about a dead op. To be a rapper now you need a bulletproof whip. No other genre like this. Now ain't this some shit? You ignorant. Get on the gram, you don't think twice. And make a joke about him fighting for his fucking life. So many of them throw rocks, then they hide their hands. But this reality, not Meta or the Central Land.
What up, though? It's the word. You see the title. Let's talk about it. But before we do that, do me a favor. Hit that like. And if you know, hit that subscribe. It's free to you, but it means a lot to me. Yeah, that was Cuzzo. That's Dad's AB, Mr. All Black Everything himself. Make sure y'all go show him some love. I'll put his link in the description. Well, let's get into it. So, I did a video about leadership, but I figured I'd break it down. And the reason for that is because, especially men, all men should be leaders in their home. All right. And I'm just going to give my opinion what that looked like. We had a situation there yesterday. I want to first apologize to the people who was in the chat. We had a distraction. So I want to apologize to people in the chat and apologize to my mods because, no excuses. I just wasn't really paying attention. I was flowing with the guests on the panel and and things in the chat got a little crazy. But, so my apologies to them. And that's part of being a leader, right? Recognizing something and fixing it. And so this channel, what I do over here, I build and I share, right? I don't do the beef. I don't do no arguments. I don't do none of that. I ain't got drama in my real life no more. Once I changed, I changed. What up, Perp? Yeah, apologies. This public apology, and I appreciate everything you do, Perp. But in my real life, I don't do drama. So I'm not gonna do it here, nigga. I talk about situations because the situations that we see on a daily basis, a lot of us go through. So I talk about the situation, but I don't talk about people. I don't do that. I don't go at people because I don't want people coming at me. That's why I don't do it. I don't want people coming at me, so I don't go at people. If it's something, a problem, I'm an adult. I can talk about it and fix it. And other than that, if I can't fix it, I let it go. That's just being part of being an adult. When you have a problem, you fix it. If you can't fix it, you move on from it. You know, Especially here on the internet, stuff shouldn't get serious. I'm not gonna say it's not because there's a lot of things done on here where people dox people and all that. So I'm not gonna say it's not serious, but what I am saying it shouldn't be serious. Most of us on here we all adults. So we should be able to kick it. And if we don't get along, we can still be respectful. You know, we can all be respectful to one another. Respecting other people is also respecting yourself. Have at least enough self respect to walk away, not to get yourself involved. What up, realist? Not to get yourself involved in things that may escalate to a whole nother level. Like this, the internet. We gotta do better. We just gotta do better on here. And but yeah. So Perp, you already know what it is. You got my full discretion. If anything happened, let me know. Even if you had to tell me to drop the link and tell me. Um, I trust your judgment. So, I'm a little disabled looking at this computer, so I trust you down there. But that's the apology to my chat and my mods because situation happened and we joke a lot. We all joke. I talk about Nate getting beat up by raccoons all the time, and I thought it was just joking going on, but it wasn't. So my apologies, and my apologies to the viewers, who watch and expect something that I've been delivering since I've been on here. I apologize to you, but let's get into it. So, like I said, leadership, like all men should be leaders of their home, and that's one thing I think we have to work on is being the leader of our home first. Before we even think about going out into the community, coming on here, or going anywhere. Establish the leadership in your home. And if you got young men, by establishing leadership in your home, you're developing another leader. I was looking at different definitions of leadership, but I'm gonna just share my own personal definition. My personal definition of leadership is someone or leader, someone who can not only put the group in a winning position, but can replicate their success. Any good leader should be able to develop more leaders. That's why I say, especially in the home, us men who have kids, our boys, we have to develop them into leaders. We say we the head of the household. What up, Blackbird? We the head of the household. We got to do that. We got to be that. And part of that is developing our children, our young men. That should be a must. That's not debatable. If you're a man and you got a son, your number one priority, it should be preparation, getting him prepared for the world. That should be our number one priority. Once we have children, we have to realize that we have to sacrifice, sacrifice some of our own selfish ways, some of our own desires. And I'm not saying just throw your life away and dedicate it to the kid, but I am saying that too. You're responsible. You help bring life into this world. I found a balance where I can do this. Kalani, what up? I can do this, but during the day, even though I be in chats, I'm with my son. 24/7. Man, my son is mimicking everything I do. My wife, she's still recovering from her C-section. She like her feet rubbed. Anytime my son see me rub my wife's feet, he push me out the way and want to do it. And that's good. He's saying how I treat my wife. So he's going to grow up with an understanding on how to treat women just from watching me and my wife. That's part of me developing him. And all this is just my opinion. I'm not even saying the things I throw at you in this video is the only way or correct way to do it. I'm just showing you or giving you my perspective. So we got to develop our youth. And we got to stand for something. So when I say leadership, it's qualities that have to be established. And one of those is duty. We have a duty, especially if we have a family. We got to provide and protect. That's our duty, is to provide and protect. Providing might look a little different because in today's society, it almost takes 2, sometimes 3 incomes, to sustain the family. If you can do it off one, that's good. But that option ain't available to everybody, and that's understandable. So when we talk about provide, just make sure you're doing enough to take care of everybody in the home. If you can't be that one worker and the wife stay home and take care of the kids while you go out there, at least make sure everything's taken care of. Make sure the bills paid, no matter how they get paid. Make sure they paid. Make sure it's food on the table, roof over the head. Provide an environment where your family is safe. We have to really hone in on these things because a lot of these things the women are doing nowadays. And we wonder why women are so masculine or aggressive. It's because they got to take on the role. It's the women making sure the bills paid, the women making sure the food on the table. And like I said, every household can't have a single income. That's understandable. I don't even drive no more. I pay my wife's car note. I pay the majority of the bills in the house. When she go to work, that's why I say she cheat on me with Amazon. I'm cool. Anything that I need, I get. But I make sure my family's straight first. My wife don't have to go kill herself to make $1. My wife ain't worried about a home. She ain't worried about if the lights go get turned off. She ain't worried about none of that. So now she can focus on what she need to focus on. Now she can play her role. And protection. That's a big one. I think all women want to be protected. If you ask a woman what's the top thing they want out of a man, I'd probably give you 7 out of 10 or 8 out of 10. They're going to say protection. And what does that look like? Like I told my wife, my job is to protect you not only from things or people outside, but the ones inside, including ourselves. So many times we think protection is just fending off what's coming. Sometimes you have to protect people from themselves. And I want to elaborate on that a little bit, like what that looked like too. I told a story on here before. I was dating a girl. We pulled up at the gas station. She went in. She wanted to grab a pack of cigarettes, so she ran in. And she come out. She telling me this dude talking smack to her. So I go in the store and I'm ready to, throw down with the dude. Little did I know he had a banger, I had one too. And the dude at the store I was cool with, he told me, no, she started all of it. And my man was like, only thing I told her was, excuse me. She stepped in front of me. And she telling me all this and that. She talked about my man, in the car. What up, Leticia? She saying, my man in the car, and he'll do this and do that. He like, F you and him, go get him. I probably would have said the same thing. So I walked out the store and I checked her. Because you putting me in a position where I can lose my life or lose my freedom. So a lot of times we have to protect women from themselves, not only from domestic. He had to protect them from all threats. Sometimes that threat, the biggest threat to some women nowadays, and this ain't to all women, but some of the biggest threat to women nowadays are themselves. So as a protector, you have to understand that your job is not to only protect a woman from people outside, but from herself. You have to explain to her. You put me in a position where it'll take me away from doing my duty. And my duty is to protect you. Don't put me in those positions. That's how women protect men, by not putting themselves in positions to be protected. And that's not saying it won't happen, because it will. But what I'm saying, don't put a man in a position where he has to. Meaning, don't jump off on no shit. Because that man is willing to protect you. Once he gone, it might be hard to find another one. And I've seen that so many times. What up, though, facts? I've seen that so many times. Where women jump out the window. Now a man jump out the window after. Now he gone. You ain't gonna find somebody else like that. It's hard. And now you all alone getting abused and beat by all the other men. And man, when you protect them, I'm gonna say this. Always put yourself in a winning position. When it comes to combat, it's not always the strongest, but the smartest. When it comes to protecting your family, sometimes it's getting them out of situation, getting them to safety. It's not always the confrontation. Sometimes the best tactic is to evade. We got to be smarter because we want to be here. I'm looking at my kids, right? If something happened, I jump out the window or do something stupid. Now I'm locked up. Who will protect them while I'm locked up? When I was younger, I was a firecracker. And like I always say, I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. And I recognize that now. And I don't test my luck. Us men, we got to become more better thinkers, better strategists. I'm not even gonna get that scenario, but I'll tell you like this. If someone wanted to come at me, I'm making sure that I get to go home. I make sure I have to get home. I can make it home to my family. When situations occur and happen, even when you have to do stuff, make sure you can make it home. Don't be so emotional. Think. There's ways. It's called self-defense. It's called self-defense. Don't let that ego take you. And I'm just talking from personal experience. Like I said, when I was young, a word could make me pop off. A look could make me pop off. Now I'm older, I have bigger responsibilities. My job is to protect my family. And I can't do it if I'm in a box or if I'm in jail. So it's not about being hard. That's just the secret to life. I'm just keeping 100 with you. It's not about being hard. It's about being smart. So that's how that look in the home. But what about the community? So when we talking about duties, me being a leader in my community, me being a provider, what am I providing? Nate, what up? And like I said, this can look different because we all got different skills, we all got different information. So it's not just finances. It can be time. You spending time with groups of men, showing them how to be a better man. You spending time with kids, creating projects, cleaning something up, or it can be finances. But something you're producing positivity. That's what I say to look like. Because leadership is innovation. You're making people and environments, situations better. Like I said, everybody ain't got the finances, but we all got skills, we all got abilities, we got information, we all got something to offer. And long as that's positive, then you produce them. Long as you adding and not taking away. You may know how to farm. Can you imagine? We in the hood, and I don't know how y'all cities is, but we got fields, like abandoned houses, like houses are there. So now there's a field. And a couple of those spots, people started gardens. Not only did they start gardens, giving food back to the community, but they teaching the kids in the inner city how to plant vegetables and fruits. That's a skill or trait that's not common in the inner city, not in the D. You don't see farms, you don't see gardens, and when you do, it's by the older people. These two young black men who do it, they got like 7 of them, and they go around and not only grow the food, but they teach. Long as you adding and not subtracting, that's how providing in the community look. But what about protection? Now, this is just my opinion. And this might sound a little fucked up or cold, but everybody not worthy of protection. Because like I said, your duty is to protect. So if I'm protecting the community, I can't just protect unworthy people who not adding to the community. Because when you do that, you put yourself in a position to be taken away. And why do that for unworthy? I'm just being real. That's like just like the story with the female I just told you. Unworthy of me protecting her. I cut her loose because me protecting her could have took my life or put me in jail, and now ain't nobody there to protect my mom and my sisters. So even in the community, we got to be smart. If a person is not contributing positivity within a group, you can't protect that. And that's part of protection itself. You got to be there for the people who are worthy. And that's just raw facts. That's just facts. You can't protect everybody. You can't jump out the window for everybody. And that sounds cold, but the people who need you, they need you. Those are the people who are producing, who are productive. But people just doing dumb stuff, putting themselves in positions. Because after you gone, now this person put themselves in another position. Somebody else supposed to sacrifice themselves. Me personally, I don't mind sacrificing myself for righteousness. That's not a sacrifice to me personally. That's not a sacrifice for righteousness, for worthiness. That's not a sacrifice. That's part of my duty. That's part of my duty. But for me to jump out a window, nah, I'm not doing it. So as a man, that's why I say we have to be smarter, not stronger. You know, we got to be smarter. We have to become the thinkers that we like to think we are. That's what we have to become. And that's not a knock to the ones who are already there. I'm talking about the masses. We have to get away from this emotional shit, reacting off emotion. Do you know what a reaction is? A reaction is you doing something because someone did something to you. So if someone do something to me and then I react, they're in control. Because 9 times out of 10, when people do stuff to get a reaction out of you, it's intentional. They're trying to get you to do it. A response is you critically thinking about the situation before you react. That's what a response is. My own personal definition. That's what it should sound like. You critically thinking before you make your next move. I have learned to respond. I used to react, but now I'm gonna respond. Now you take control back. And that's part of the discipline. And that's part of self-control also. Those are things we need to inherit. Things we need to strive for is discipline and self-control. Because so many times people do stuff to get you to react, to take you out of position. And people fall for it. And when you do that, like I said, as a man, my first duty is to my family. That's my duty. And I got to protect and provide. And if I get manipulated, and it may happen, but I'm saying don't let it happen easily. Be mindful. Be a thinker. Because it is fucked up people out there who do shit to get reactions out of you. It's fucked up people. We all experienced this before. People ain't got nothing else going, nothing going for their life. So they come fucking with you. And if we know people do that, why do we react? Why do we give them the power? We got to do better on that. And Letitia, I'm telling you, it's a. But see, even that, what you're saying, you're aware. A lot of people ain't even aware. A lot of people don't think like that. You know, a lot of people don't think. They just do and do and do and do. When you become conscious, that's when things start. That's when you begin to change. When you're conscious of it, when you're consciously doing it, and it's work because I thought, like I said, before I had kids, I thought I had all this down packed. But now, even thinking, like, I'm gonna be honest with you, I am like when I say I'm very, very protective. I am very protective over my family. I'm not letting nobody take them away from me. And this is I'm working on this. And please don't judge me because I'm being honest. If I see a little kid hit my kid, I'm kicking him. That's just how I feel. I'm working on that though. I promise you I am. I promise you I am. I am very protective. That's just me. And like I said, I thought I had everything down packed, but this is new to me. So I'm working on that. But my bad. I just pictured me kicking a kid in the head because I'm telling you, hit my babies, it's on and popping. I don't care about a kid or not. I'm sorry, but I'm working on it. I'm working on this. Is new to me. I had my first kid at 36. And I know that shit sounds fucked up, but I'm telling the truth. I would kick the shit out of a kid if they hit my kid. And my son is 3 years old. He 3 foot 50 pounds right now. He ain't no little kid, but that's my baby. I am my mother's child. I ain't gonna tell y'all what my mama did, but yeah, my mama ain't play that neither. Yeah. And you know what? It took me a while to understand that, but I was put in an environment, working in a hospital in a predominantly black area when the staff was predominantly upper class white. I didn't even got to tell you how ignorant people were. And when you hear, and I grew up in this area, so a lot of the people coming through, I knew them. And hearing people saying all this crazy shit, I snapped a couple times, but I had to learn how to respond. And the only thing I did was put a mirror up. At first when they said it, they was getting a reaction, and that's what they wanted. Because when I start calling the shit out, they stop. They stop. I'm telling them like, damn, that's an innuendo. That shit sound kind of racist. I wonder what the NAACP. I feel offended. You see, I didn't have an emotional attachment anymore. And now I seen what they was doing. And once I understood what they was doing, I understood how to respond. So yeah, that shit didn't last too long, but it was fun to me because it's like you think you fucking with me, but now I'm fucking with you. Nah, I don't endorse kicking no kids. Nah, I don't endorse no violence. Period. It's just when it comes to my babies, man, Satan will be afraid of me. When it comes to my family, it is what it is. I don't beef, but when it's war, I just feel like it ain't no casualties, man. That's why I don't. That's why I stay away from trouble. You know, um, I say this too. This is why I don't bother people. If you sit back and think what you're capable of, you'll understand that it's people capable of far more. And that shit is scary to me. So I don't bother people because you don't know who having a bad day. And you really don't know people. Like my martial arts, my Wing Chun instructor, dude, 75 years old. And I can't touch him. I've been trying to hit him for 3 years. He don't look like he can do nothing. I can't touch this man. When I say a bad, like this dude will kill you with his bare hands, and he probably $160. I seen him put somebody 6'5", 280 pounds on their ass easy. I can't even tell you how many times he flipped me, but he lived it. He breathed it ever since he was a kid. His natural movements have became a form of martial art. You don't know what people are capable of. You don't know the extent people are willing to go to. What up, cowboy? Appreciate you coming through, bro. Hey, if y'all got blue wrenches, drop your link. If not purple, drop y'all link. Y'all show each other love. And Leticia, them videos. Appreciate you, sir. When I say information coming from Third Eye, y'all go check out Leticia. Yeah, I had to well, I'll talk to you about that later. But yeah, so that's my opinion on how duty look out in the community. You know, we got to be smart. We can't protect everybody. If you ain't worthy of it, oh well. We all should be striving to become better. And in doing that, you becoming a better person, you'll influence things around you. The better you are, the better people around you are, and the conditions around you become. We're gonna go back to the household, and we're gonna talk about honor, because the men, it's just my opinion, and these are, I'm just telling you what works for me. And when I say I practice things, like we all like to say, oh, we're honorable, or we this, or we that, but do we actually practice that? And when it's time to show it, do we do it? That's my question, because I don't see a lot of people. I'm just being honest. I don't see too many honorable people, and when I do, it's a breath of fresh air. You know, I hear people all the time say honor, 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 duty, duty, duty. Even saying they're men, but do you practice that? And when it's time to show it, do you? Because that's the only way you can honestly say you're honorable, is if you display it. I just wanted to show you a definition of it: honesty, fairness, or integrity in one's beliefs and actions. This shit ain't easy. Like I said, as a man, this is why old school men went emotionless. Is because they understood it's hard to live up to being a man if you are emotional. It's hard. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it's hard. Because when situations arise, do you look at it fairly? Like the story I told you about the girl in the store. If I was emotional, I just would have went straight in and start swinging. I wouldn't have listened to the gas station clerk trying to tell me what happened. I wouldn't have even listened to the guy telling me. And if we talking about fairness, I wouldn't have went back out and talked to the girl about it. I'd have been sitting here trying to impress a girl and got into it with this dude. You know, a lot of times when things happen as men, we react. We don't sit down, we don't talk, we don't see if we can resolve it without violence so everybody can go home. We don't do that. I told a story the other day where my car got shot. And I went back and got my people and we rode down the block and I seen the dude who shot at my car. We didn't shoot him up. I wanted to know why he shot my car. I ain't did nothing to you, bro. Emotional, we would have went over there and lit it up. And we could have, but we didn't. Went over there and talked. Some people would hear that, oh, you a punk, you this, you that. Nah. Well, you can think that. But it was a misunderstanding. They paid for my car to get fixed. Everybody got to go home. I didn't hurt another black man. Didn't kill another black man. I resolved a situation that happened with another black man. And that's hard to do. And the main reason it's hard to do is, like I said, we emotional. People get into it because of words. You know, me personally, I'm 38 years old now. I've been in situations where I had to take words from people, an authority figure. I had to. It is what it is. My grandmother used to tell me, if somebody say something to you and it upset you, you need to figure out why it upset you because it's probably true. That's what my grandmother told me. And I'm not saying if somebody lying on you, if somebody slandering you, that you shouldn't defend yourself. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is don't react, respond. Because if someone going out their way, slandering you, lying on you, it's for a reason. And guess what? It shows just how fucked up they are. A lot of times when people do that, the only thing they do is put a mirror in their face. Because let's be honest, if somebody called me a punk and I whooped their ass, what's to say they won't call the police? Good morning, bro. What's up, man? Official 1SP. Appreciate you coming through, bro. What makes you think they won't call the police? Now they call the police. Now you get locked up. Or it go worse than that. You know, people have died for lesser. So this is what I'm saying. You have to be smarter and put yourself in winning position. But honor, part of that honor is taking care of your duty. Appreciate you, bro. Part of that honor is taking care of your duty. Honoring your duty, your beliefs. You can't do that if you're in a box or behind bars. And the same thing for in the community. What are our beliefs? What kind of code are we on within the community? And it's hard because one person can't change it. One person can't change it. You can be the most honorable, displaying the most duty, providing, protecting, but you can't do it alone. So in my opinion, part of that honor is us as people honoring one another, looking out for one another. We have to turn it into a belief. At least if you can't get along with somebody that look like you, don't cause them no harm. Walk away. Like I said, I got so many stories, especially the older I got, where I just walked away. And I ain't gonna lie, you know, coming from where I come from in the background, the way I came up, at first I felt like a little bitch. I ain't gonna hold you up. I'm gonna keep it raw and funky. But later on, I felt better. I felt good about myself. The reason I felt like that is because what I was before. Like I said, I used to pop off for the smallest thing. I appreciate that, official. I really do, man. I appreciate that, brother. I really do. That's humbling, man. You know, I always try to, my whole life, you know, once I ain't gonna say my whole life, once I became aware of my little brothers and sisters was watching me, I tried to be responsible. You know, that's one of the motivations for me changing the way I was. Is because I seen people under me doing what I do or trying to emulate what I did, especially my little brother. He doing Fed time right now. And it broke my heart 5 years ago when he told me, you know, I'm like this because I watched you. I never taught him nothing. I never set him down and said, this is how you do this or this. I never did that, but he watched me. I didn't have to show him. And by him watching me, he didn't know. He just thought, but he didn't know exactly what I did. Because like I said, I didn't get caught up. He did. So it's not if I taught him the game, but if I showed him something else, he wouldn't be in the position that he in. That used to eat at me, but I had to let that go too and realize that he is his own man. He made his own mistakes. But now I'm telling them, do what I do. If you want to follow me, if you want to emulate me, do what I'm doing now. I wasn't ready to lead when I was younger, but now I am. So do what I do now. And that's what he's doing. So much, he learning real estate while he locked up. So when he get out, he can do his thing. You know, we gotta have some type of we gotta have a code standard. You know, the culture that they gave us, the culture that we understand now, that's not us, man. All that shit fabricated. And it was fabricated for a reason. It's to keep us docile, keep us down, make us unaware of who we are. Because if we knew who we are, then we know what we can become. And that scares people. There's a reason why it scares people. But then we talk about morals, right? How many of us got morals? Like I said, a lot of people, if you just sit back, and not even on YouTube, I'm just talking about in general in real life. You know, think about pastors, right? And I'm not talking about the good ones. I'm talking about the ones we know. Not even pastors. Let's look at them 5 cops. That's probably an even better example. Morally, no one stopped no one. No one stopped no one. But they participated. All of them. You know, they participated. No one stopped no one. Now, by definition, when we talk about relating to principles of right or wrong behavior, you know, right and wrong is what we perceive it to be. Because what's right for me might be wrong for you. What's wrong for you might be right for me. So that's all about perception. But we can talk about behavior. Even when you equate those two, we understand right and wrong behavior. Hurting someone is wrong, unless it's in self-defense. Them cops weren't defending themselves. So not one person stopped. Not one. Even the EMTs, when they got there, morals. Shit went out the window, right? You're an EMT, you hit the scene, your first job is to help whoever's hurt. They took their time, they congregated. And these are people who are paid to protect and serve us. So just using them as an example. Like I said, we all like to think highly of ourselves. And I challenge myself. And I'm not saying nothing negative against nobody. I'm just telling you my perspective. That's it. So this ain't a knock against nobody. But I self-reflect. And I challenge myself every day. To display. To live up to what I believe. And it's hard, especially when you encountering other people. It's so hard. It's not easy. But guess what? It feels good. Because now I'm not talking about it, I'm just doing it. And people who know me, I don't tell them none of this stuff about me. I don't have to say I'm humble. I don't have to say I have morals or values. They see it in my actions. I don't have to go out and tell nobody nothing. Me personally, I'm not interested in proving anything to anybody. You just watch me. You'll see everything you need to know. You know, like I said, we all human. We all fall short, right? We all can be tempted. So I'm not acting like I'm perfect. I'm not acting like I'm better than nobody else. What I'm telling you is I try. I do. I'm not gonna lie to you. I try to be the best version of me every day. And to be honest, and I'm saying this as humble as I possibly can, the best version of me is a lot better than a lot of people. I don't go out hurting nobody, especially not intentionally. If I can't add to someone, I don't take it. I don't subtract nothing from it. And I do all this consciously. Even sometimes when I get tempted to do stuff, I don't do it. I'm aware of it. Like, damn, this will feel good. And then I sit back and think, why would it feel good to say something negative about somebody? Why would it feel good to hurt somebody or take something from somebody? Then I got to check myself. We don't do enough self-reflection. We don't. Because if we did, society wouldn't be the way it is now. It wouldn't. If we actually look at ourselves to see what we can improve or what we need to subtract, we'd be a lot better off. My grandmother used to tell me, an older person that think they know everything ain't nothing but an old fool. That's what she used to tell me. And she used to tell me that because she wanted me to teach her any new thing she's saying. She wanted me to teach her. And I'm like, Grandma, why you want to know this? You're too old for this. She said, No, I'm not. I'm never too old to learn. And if anybody ever tell you that you can't teach them something or they too old for you to teach them something, they ain't shit but an old fool. That's what OG used to always say. And that's true. Even a person at the highest level of education can learn something. New information always comes up. Hidden information, forgotten information. Things evolve. So no matter how old you are, you can learn something new. And that's part of behavior. Learning. So even when you talk about morals, it's your moral obligation to learn. Because learning, the more you learn, the more you know. The more you know, the more you know how to interact. Interaction is a form of behavior. So how do that look in the household, though? Because as a man, as a leader in my home, like I said, my son watches what I do. So he go watch my behavior. That's how kids learn. That's how people learn. It's observation. You know, like the older generation, right? If I call somebody an OG, that means I got a lot of respect for them. So I'm watching them. And just for me having a high regard for them, I'm accepting their behavior. So the OG, our elders, they have a responsibility to us. You know, they only human. Ain't nobody perfect, but our elders have a responsibility to it. They do. And a lot of them are upholding it. but a lot of them aren't. And their behavior is unjust. But even then, I don't look at those people like elders. I don't give people titles. People got to earn that shit. Even my name, I earned that. This ain't something I just named myself. And it's not even the word, it's thought. In the circle I am, people call me Thought Duhuti. We go around and saying people are men because they're of age. And that's what's wrong with society. We give titles to people. We assume just because a person of age, they're a man, they're a woman. Even mom and dad, there's some parents out here who aren't parents. Only thing they did was brought life here, but they ain't responsible. So why do they deserve that title? Let's call stuff. Maybe if we call things like it is, maybe people will start striving for them. If we start calling these grown ass boys, maybe they'd be like, damn, let me become a man. But if we keep giving people titles, the hell they got to live up to? They don't. It's given. That's like a participation trophy, right? We say how bad that is because the way it teaches kids. But we do it. We do it. We call men because they're of age. Because they're over the age of 18, now you're a man. No. That's disrespectful to me. I understand it, so I don't get upset. But when people describe these boys, these ignorant ass dudes as men, I feel some type of way sometimes. I feel some type of way. And women, y'all should too. Y'all should too. Honestly, we got to start. Being upset is not a bad thing because a lot of progression comes when people get tired of shit, right? Ain't that how we sparked the civil rights movement, the women's movement? Because people got tired of shit. We need to get tired of the right shit, the shit that actually will cause change. And I think that's a big problem because I think that's why a lot of dudes are emotional now. I'm not even gonna get into that, but yeah, that's a whole nother video. That's a whole nother video. I don't even know if I can conform to my talking about that. But yeah, we gotta get morals back. We gotta have a code of behavior, code of conduct. And in this little circle we do, right? In the circle we do. We have fun, we laugh, we giggle. We don't throw shots at it. It's probably people in here that don't really know people or really don't get along, but they being respectful here. They respectful in Nate's chat. And we get along, we laugh, we have fun, we enjoy it. That's behavior, the morals. We display morals. We just got to demand it from everybody else. Like in real life, exactly. We got a code. In real life, in my personal life, I don't have many friends. I got a dot. And that's because I just don't, there's some stuff I can't be around. And I refuse to be around. I don't deal with it. I'm straight. I don't want it around me. Don't bring it around. And that's in my real life. I don't do drama. I don't do none of that. I enjoy life. We get one chance at the one. Ain't no do-overs. Ain't no extra lives. Ain't none of that. So why? I'm 38. I spent half of my life pain, suffering, all that negative emotions. Now I figured out a way to be happy. So why go backwards? I don't even really watch TV. I get most of my news from YouTube or breaking news on the app. I don't watch TV. I don't really watch movies. I don't watch nothing that's not adding to information. If I can't utilize it to make my life better, that's just where I'm at in my life. There's no point in me wasting my time with it. If I'm not building relationships on YouTube, if I'm not gaining some type of information, there's no point in me watching it. But that's just me personally. That's just how I roll. I have no need to watch TV. I don't believe in giving my time to things that don't have a positive influence on me. I don't believe in it. And if I do decide to watch something, it's always more of analysis. I don't even know if that's gonna make sense, but think of it like this. Does it make sense for people to psychoanalysis a psychopath? The reason they do is to understand them. The reason they need to understand it so they can identify it later. So if I indulge in something that may seem negative, it's because I'm analyzing it. I'm getting something from out of it, basically, is what I'm saying. Anything you spend your time on, you should get something. You should get something from it. You should get something from it. But I think with duty, morals, and honor, I think those should be the three main principles. And that's main. This can be added on to, and it will. We can do a part 2 of this. But those are 3 good, solid, foundational pieces. Especially the first one, duty. Us protecting and providing. And like I said, I understand some households can't live off of one income. You need multiple streams of income, so the wife has to work sometimes. But even then, providing is natural for men. And it feels good when you do it. And your home is prosperous. That builds confidence. Confidence in yourself and confidence in your spouse. If you're married. Yo, it's Mike. What up, brother? But if anybody want to add to it, I'm gonna drop the link. So, hold on, I gotta find a little thing on the Okay, there we go. Yo, I cannot see my screen, and the little hand is white on white. Yeah, but all welcome. As long as you typed in the chat, you're welcome. And while this brother's in the chat, let me add one more. Sometimes you got to select violence. That one's for you, Nate. That's part of the protection plan. Selecting violence. But on the real though, man, we got to be smarter. It's not about, and I'm just telling you this from personal experience. It was so many times that, like I said, I'm truly blessed. It was so many times that I could lost my freedom and possibly lost my life. from being emotional, from trying to be Billy Badass. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna just keep it funky. I mean, we can sit up here and and we can sit up here and say, um, don't disrespect me or don't do this and don't do that because I pop off and I do that. But like when you get to a certain age and you got a certain amount of responsibility, thinking come into play. What up, Liz? It should. I mean, I can't imagine somebody saying something to me, stepping on my shoe, and me doing something and getting locked up. And now my wife and kids are out here on the street. Like, just like I'd expect, was she supposed to wait? Nah, women go do what women do. So now I'm gonna have another dude in my home raising my kids because I reacted. And women, I'm gonna be honest with you too. One of the main reasons I love the shit out of my wife, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because there's been so many times where I was in a situation and got into a fight because of a woman, defending a woman's honor. And we was down in New Orleans. Actually, we was on Bourbon Street. We was drunk as hell. We was in a bar. And I never forget this because my wife always tell people this story when they say I'm nice or I'm kind. Like when her family be like, oh, he's nice and gentle. She be like, no, he ain't. Oh, we sitting in the bar and my wife is facing the bartender. My back is to the bar and I'm watching the band. I'm enjoying the band and shit, right? So I just hear my wife, like she bumped me and she was like, oh, excuse me, this dude like pushed her out the way to get to the bar. And I grabbed him by his shirt with one hand, lifted him. He was on his tippy toes. And I was about to hit him and she was begging me not to. She said, come on, let's just go. It's not worth it. That was the first time a woman ever did that. And I was drunk. I wanted to break his face. I made him apologize. I said, I ain't make him. I asked him. I said, bro, I need you to apologize to my girl right now. Because what you did was rude. He's like, I apologize, and he bought us a beer. He was drunk. Stumbled, pushed her, knocked her drink over. It wasn't even on purpose. It was by mistake. But all I seen was him pushing her. I'm hearing her, and I reacted. I'm in a whole nother state. I could have went to jail in New Orleans for whooping this dude up, but she stopped me. There's been times where people said some slick stuff, and I'm like, what you say? And she grabbed me like, let's just go. And I appreciate her for that. And I appreciate her for that. Because me as a man, I'm very protective. But she protected me. If a situation gets serious, I'm pretty sure she'd just go to the car and let me do my thing. But she had enough. She was the thinker in that situation. Situations wasn't that serious. We wasn't in danger. So no, she didn't need protection. I needed it for myself and for my ego and for my emotions. And women, we need that from you. That's how you protect us too. That's how you keep us around. By protecting us from us. Just like I said, like man, we have to tell our women too. Women and men, we have to tell each other when we wrong. We have to be open to constructive criticism, to be able to listen to it. We all see life different, especially men and women. And I think a part of our dysfunction with one another is the communication. a lot of people can't take constructive criticism no more. And I understand because all criticism ain't constructive. Sometimes people just throw shots at you or try to beat you down. But you can't think that every time someone says something to you that you don't like. Like, we adults, we should be able to have conversations. And sometimes them conversations are uncomfortable because it's about us and what we're doing. But a lot of times when we doing stuff, we don't know what we doing while we doing it. So somebody from the outside looking in sees it a little different. But if you ain't open to that conversation, if you defensive and emotional when somebody's trying to tell you something, give you a different perspective, another way to look at things, communication is key. Communication is key when you're dealing with anything or anybody. And it's an art that's not taught, that's not practiced. I feel like I can talk to anybody because the first thing I do is adapt. I ain't gonna say I can talk to anybody at any time because sometimes people are unapproachable. But I feel people out and now I know how to approach the conversation. Some people you got to be soft with, some people you got to be a little rough with. Some people you can tell it like it is, some people you have to put some sugar and sprinkles on it. And a lot of us don't like to do that. But if you want to effectively communicate with someone, you have to. And that's just a fact because the message is not going to get conveyed. What up, Tony? Nate, you a clown, bro. Yeah, Bert, that's why we click the way we do. That's why we click the way we do. But yeah, we have to like with my wife, right? She she Middle Eastern, so they whole culture different. She was so used to dating, Middle Eastern men, and they treat their women different. So me being, with my wife, I had to understand that she has been the way men talk to her. They never built her up. They always tried to break her down. They always try to tell her what to do. So now she's a little defensive with certain things. She's a little sensitive with certain things. But I know that. So I know how to communicate things that I want to her. If I wanted to try something, it's a request, less of a demand. If I want to tell her she's doing something wrong, I show her. I don't have to beat her down. Like, you don't know nothing. I'll be like, look, babe, look, this is how you do it. You did it this way, but let me show you how to do it. Instead of saying, look, you did this wrong, you fucked it up. But if I care about this person, why shouldn't I build this person up? If you care about something, there's no point in you breaking them down. You don't break down things that you want longevity with. You break down things for parts and pieces. Bert, you raise her up in your heart. I'm gonna tell you this. I need to tell her to put my damn ATM card down. I'm just playing. Man, my wife be shopping. She be shopping. Oh man. But I love her. But women, let me ask y'all a question. If y'all order something offline and it's not exactly what you thought it was, would you order something similar and keep ordering it until you get exactly what you think you're getting? Or is that just her? I don't know. Sometimes I don't understand. But that's my job, is like I gotta try to understand. She ordered like 7 different pair of compression socks and ain't sent none of them back. And I'm like, so what we gonna do with these socks? It's like you ain't know those wasn't the right ones when you ordered them the first, second, or third time. But that's women. That's something you either live with it or you live without it. I rather live with it because it's funny at times. Yeah, man, my wife a trip, man, but she keep me laughing. And if you got something special, man, just keep building onto it. Hey, let me say this too. Public service announcement to men. The hard part ain't getting them, bro. It's keeping them, and it's keeping them happy. That's the hard part. That's the part you work on every day. After the show, she in there knocked out. I'm gonna go rub her feet because she asked me to do it earlier and I didn't. But I learned this. I used to date older women. I'm talking about when I was 16. I was dating a 36-year-old. She actually worked with my mom, but I always dated older. But I've been 6 foot since I was like, I haven't grown since I was 15, 16. I was supposed to be like 6'5", and I stopped, I think, because I started lifting weights or drinking coffee. But Uncle L in the building. What up, brother? I wish I knew how to do the soundboard. Uncle L, I appreciate you. Not a realist, bro. It's like when they say men are from whatever Mars and women are from Venus. That shit is so real, bro. Like I don't understand. I don't be understanding half the shit my mama do or my sister. Right, or what up, my brother? What up, my brother? I'm gonna drop that link if anybody want to hit it and come up. I'm just talking about just giving my views on what male leadership look like. I went through them already, but I'm gonna add some more to it. But I just didn't want to drop everything at once. And like I said, I did this because situation that happened yesterday, and I appreciate the way Nate handled it. Nate got his own little sauce and flair, but that was honor. You know exactly what he did. He was on code. He said something. He established a way, and he kept it. No matter who you are or what you are, like he said, this is what we do here, and I don't tolerate nothing. And you can't do nothing but respect a man who stand on 10 toes. You can't do nothing but respect that man. And he wasn't disrespectful, in my opinion. He just stood on his shit. He stood on his shit. But yeah, I'm a different type of what up? But yeah, I appreciate that, Nate, because it's refreshing to see that shit, bro. When people when they say what they mean and mean what they say. And that just let me know I'm fucking with the right people. That's what that let me know. Because I'm the same way. I'm probably a little bit more lenient. I'm a little bit more softer on it, probably, but can't do nothing but respect that. It's like I said, that's straight honor and it's duty. His job is to protect what he built. And that means some people come and people go. So a lot of these things I said, this man is displaying. And you can't do nothing but respect that because that's what I do. Like in my real life. And like I said, it's not easy. It's not easy. It's something that we work on, something we cultivate, things we become better at. but being aware of it, that's the key. That's the key. Because some of us didn't have good examples growing up, and we had to learn it ourselves. And we still learning it. We still reinventing it, adding to it, taking stuff off of it. That's why I said being a man, you can get a lot of different perspectives of what a man is. A lot of different people get a lot of different views on what it is to be a man, even if you talk to the old school cats, right? Oh shit. My bad. Hold on, let me get my charger. I thought it was plugged up. The hell is it plugged up? Oh shit. Like I was talking to my I talk to my OGs, like my family, a lot about, because I like to see the way people think, especially older people. I like to see their perspectives. And I was talking to my pops. I thought my pops was gonna pop up on me tonight, but my mom just got back in town. She did that little traveling nurse thing. Went and got the bag, and now she back. So I probably ain't gonna talk to them for a couple days. They still young, man. That shit crazy. I'm not even gonna tell you the shit they be fucking with me with, but yeah. So I thought he was gonna pull up, but just talking to my pops and like hearing my pops' perspective, hearing my two uncles' perspective, they all different. What a man is, but it's a lot of similarities. Protection, providing. The two roots of being a man is protecting and providing. My one uncle, he been married, I think he been married for like 45, 50 years. He real into the family. So he'll give you a whole different perspective on what it, especially when it comes to sacrificing. A lot of his understanding is sacrificing for the greater good, sacrificing for the family, his needs, his wants. My other uncle, he a lawyer. He ain't sacrificing nothing. He gonna tell you about being the man of the household, taking control of things, doing this, doing that. And my dad is more balanced. My dad more balanced. So you'll get different perspectives. That's why I always say, I dropped a link because this is just my perspective. This can be added. I mean, somebody might give me a different perspective of something I said, and I might change it. They might have a deeper understanding of it. But that's why we need to have these conversations, because I'm just being real. Clearly, we don't have a clear understanding what leadership look like, because we've been looking for a leader the whole time. And in my opinion, what we've been looking for is we just got to go into the mirror, and it's right there. That's why I truly feel like this needs to start in the home, need to be developed in the home with the children, with the young men, the boys, and eventually it'll spill out into the community, because that's where we are. That's where we interact. And leadership, you lead by example. That's part of being a leader, because the people under you always looking up to you. So usually if it's fuck shit at the bottom, it's fuck shit at the top. That's how it usually go. Like if you was in the military and you got a platoon of people doing some crazy shit, and that's because it's accepted at the top. In my opinion, even this police situation, with Trey Nichols, ain't the first time they did some shit like that. Probably that's the first time they went that far, but that shit is accepted. That's a culture. Because if it wasn't accepted, it wouldn't have been done. That's the same thing for homes. And I'm not saying that kids don't go outside the home and do fuck shit, because I did. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is we can prevent a lot of it. A lot of it can be prevented if we take care of the homes. If we establish these morals, these values, the sense of duty, especially in a young man. Because the knuckleheads running, and it's not, I don't blame the computer for catching a virus. I blame the people who put the virus in the computer. You know, but I will say this too: at a certain age, you do know better, or you should know better. But these young kids, we can't. It's hard for me to blame them. It really is. It's hard for me to say you should have knew better when that's all they know. That's all they ever been around. Like me growing up in the hood, I've been around. Um, I had different experience than a lot of people I was around. You know, I had a lot of different experiences. Like I said, I was blessed. But at first, I didn't understand why they didn't look at things the way I did. But as I got older, I understood that's all they knew. I mean, I remember I was 24 and I was about to go across. I know y'all heard of 8 Mile before, but what the thing is with 8 Mile is one side is Detroit, the other side is like you start going into the suburbs. And man, my boy riding, I'm like, yeah, we about to go over this chick house. And when I went to go across the 8 Mile, he freaked the fuck out. Dude, 25 years old, never been out the city. Never been out the city. And a lot of it was because that's what he was told. You go across the 8 Mile, you'll get locked up. They don't like black people over there. Blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. And he believed it and never ventured out. Like, bro, you lived in the city for 25 years and you never explored outside of the city. He never had nobody take him out of town. He didn't have that. So how can I blame him? That's like if you take an animal out of the zoo and put them back in the wild. You think they gonna survive? Nah. Animal born in the zoo can't go into the wild. Hey, Leticia, that's why I fucks with you, because that's straight facts. Hey, Huey, I can tell you this for a fact. I got cops in my family. You know, my cousin just made sergeant. My first cousin. I got an auntie, retired narcotics officer. And when that happened, when that happened with them 6 cops, you know what they told me? They hope they go to hell. They hope they go to hell. Because guess what? When they approached that door, if you watch the video and if you know anything about law enforcement, they knew the guy wasn't a threat, but they approached the door aggressively with pepper spray already out. I'm not saying all cops, because I just told you I got some family members and they stand up people. So no, I'm not saying all cops. What I'm saying is the culture. Is the culture. It's done enough. It's done enough. if you don't believe it's a culture, I can get a cop on here and tell you that. I had a friend who was a cop, and he got stumped out by cops because he told on a cop. So I mean, we can sit here and we can pretend, but I like speaking reality, and it's ugly. It is. We. It's fun to believe in fairy tale. It's fun. Sometimes it feels safe, but the reality is, all cops ain't here to protect and serve. And if you look up police force, they're not here to protect and serve. Cops' job is to enforce government rule. It has nothing to do with protecting and serving people. And you can look that up. Look up police force. Oh, you good, Relis. You good, bro. I know your intentions, brother. Hey, that 100 in your name is there for a reason. Not only the first name, but that 100, bro. Tay, what's up, though? My bad, man. I didn't even know you was live last night. Pension. Few officers are corrupt. They can go to hell also. I'm going to tell you like this, Ryder. I'm going to be 100 with you. That shit is really like a gang, bro. Cops has lost their life for being 100. They lost their life. Cops have died for being righteous, for doing their duty. Because they did the right thing. Cops have died. I know, same thing for the military, bro. They call it friendly fire. Maybe one day I will indulge in more information, but yeah, all that shit is like gangs. Military and the police, bro. If you don't follow code, follow suit, they get you out of there one way or another, either fire or get you out of there. But I do believe you. I mean, you took an oath to do this, to do that. You got to do it. That's why I tell melanated people. I mean, I understand entering these occupations to have representation, but that shit dangerous. If people doing it for the right reasons, that can be dangerous to them. I try to steer people away, find something else to do. When it comes to cops or militaries, that's just my opinion. I just don't believe melanated people should be cops or go into the military. That's just my personal opinion. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just telling you that's how I look at it. And like I said, I understand you need people there to represent you. Because imagine if it wasn't no black cops at all. No black military people. I mean, just imagine that. But if you ask me my opinion, you putting yourself in a fucked up situation. Because especially when it comes to a hood that you in, you got to patrol it. You might know people. You might have a dick as a partner. And they might do something. But you know these people. These people know your people. So now you got to deal with that. I've seen that happen before. Like when I tell you, the D built different, bro. It's built different. That's why, like, when I be, like, some of the stuff I see on here, I'll be like, nah, they can't be, they ain't come from where I come from, because they wouldn't be doing the same shit like that. They wouldn't be doing it. Because it was never done like that. It's not done like that here. Like, if they can't find you, they get your little sister. They get your mama, your brother, your cousin. They will allow the good cop to be deleted if need be. It's just off code to whistleblow as a slave patrol. Yeah. Yeah, but imagine being a melanated person fighting for this damn country only to be called. Man, I'm a rap to you, bro. I'm a rap to you off air, man. Maybe one day I get into it, bro. But yeah, man, bro. I can tell you some stories, bro. But that's fact, bro. Think about the dude who just got pepper sprayed. Did he get tased too? He was in uniform, and I mean, he was. What was he? Was he a colonel? No, he wasn't no colonel. I think he was he was an officer in the military. This happened a couple years ago when they pulled him over and snatched him out of his car and pepper sprayed him. Like that's government property, bro. That man is government property. And you snatched him out of his car, pepper sprayed him. This man is defending your country. And you punk ass, like, dude, that made me so mad. That shit made me so mad, bro. Hey, that's what Muhammad Ali said, remember? When am I go over there and fight for this country for when my enemy is right here? Ali said that. Like a lot of those wars, they ain't got nothing to do with us. But you want me to risk my life and then come back over here and risk my life? Like, man, that shit crazy. Yeah. I mean, it's and honestly, I know that a lot of it is opportunity. A lot of people do that to get out the situation they in. Our people, you know what I'm saying? And if they did it the right way, um, maybe they can have more influence and be put in better conditions or situations. They don't tell our people, go to school, get your bachelor's degree, you can go automatically into officer candidate school. They don't tell our people that. So people get out of high school, want to get out the hood and go into the military because there's a check waiting, guaranteed job, training, and a check. And you get out the environment. And if you've been surviving the whole time, it's alluring. You get to travel the world. You get education. There's a lot of benefits. But then when you start doing it, and like Ryder said, you go over there and you risk your life. You go over there and you risk your life. And all you think about is coming home. And then when you come home, you still a nigga. Don't nobody care about the sacrifices you made over there. The blood. Man, let me stop talking. But yeah, don't nobody care about that. And then you tell somebody you're a veteran and they say thank you for your service. And then right after that, you're still a nigga. And it's like you gotta tell people you're a veteran to get any amount of respect. They don't respect you because you're a man. They respect you because you're a veteran. They don't respect you because you're a melanated brother. They respect you because you're a veteran. That shit crazy, man. I had an offer to get in the army when I was 18. And they came to my door and left a card. Hey, that was a blessing. I'm telling you, bro. That you didn't. Imagine fighting wars beside your oppressor who stole your birthland and mass genocide of your people, bruh. And overseas, with people who don't look like you mowing them down. People ain't never did nothing to you. And then you find out this shit was for oil. That shit'll drive you crazy, man. You go over there and risk your life. Imagine this. I'm gonna just say this hypothetically, right? I'm gonna tell you a hypothetical story. Imagine you went to the Marine Corps and you trained with this dude, right? You went to Marine combat training with him. You went to recon training with him. At the recon training, you met his family. They from Nebraska, cool people. Cool white people. They treat you just like you, their son. Then y'all go over to Iraq. And he gets shot. And he die. And they tell you to burn his body. But all this time you spent with this man, you spent with his family. You decided, fuck that. I'm gonna make sure he get home. So you carry this man's body for almost a mile. You get back to base. You covered in his blood. You get reprimanded. You get dropped down the rank. Then when you get home, you go visit his parents to tell them, sorry for your loss. And when his mother opened the door, she look at you and say, I wish it was your nigga ass who died. Imagine that shit happened to you, man. And then after all that, when you get released, they tell you got severe post-traumatic stress disorder. You're a liability. You can't work around people. For 2 years, for 2 days a week, you're going to therapy just to be cleared to work around people. You going to the VA, trying to get a lawyer, and they tell you, just forfeit your benefits. After 2 years, they tell you that. But even after you do that, now you got a stamp on your record. And all you did was try to get this dude body home to his parents. That's all you tried to do. Fair use YouTube. This is just my opinion. Fuck the military. He gave over $100 billion. Yeah. But we can't get reparations. You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. And this might sound a little ignorant, but it'll make sense of what I'm saying. But think about it. I don't understand why they don't want to give black people reparations. I really don't. You know how that'll stimulate the economy with the current conditions that a lot of us are in? That'll stimulate the economy. Motherfuckers be going out buying jewelry, cars, shit, stupid shit. That money would be gone. Well, half of the people that look like us, that shit would be gone. Even if they gave us $1 million, that shit would be gone. If they gave it to us today, it'd be gone by the summer. That shit. So I don't understand why they don't. They're afraid people will get together and start building shit. We'll fuck around and start doing what Garvey tried to do. Not what Martin tried to do. Not what Malcolm, but what Garvey. Garvey wanted a distribution company. Garvey wanted things that we didn't have to depend on other people. That's how he tried to build us up. We wouldn't have to depend on all these other people. We can keep the money flowing within the race. That's what Garvey tried to do. That's why Garvey was so dangerous. That's why even when they teach Garvey, they don't teach Garvey. Because that shit will inspire the minds of the youth. That's why they don't teach Garvey. That's why they gave Martin a holiday. And then the people who don't like Martin, they gave you Malcolm. And these brothers are amazing. I'm not telling you they not. I'm not downplaying nothing they did, none of their accomplishment. But what I'm telling you is shit Garvey was trying to do. If Garvey's plan would have hatched, let's think about this. Why our artists can't produce the type of music they want to? They don't have distribution. They don't have that. We don't even have a form of transportation. We don't make our own cars. It's an African company to make cars, but even those cars aren't imported over here. Why? We don't have distribution. We don't have transportation. We don't really even own a TV station. It's black apps now, but a lot of us don't even support those. That's another thing. And this is not just to black people. What I'm about to say, it's not. This is to anybody who has a heart, who has humanity, and start supporting black-owned businesses. Even if you white, support a black-owned business. And that's not because of what your ancestors did. That's because you human. Black people produce things just as good as anybody else, if not better. Why not support small businesses? We got to start putting our money where our mouth is. Yeah, Perp, I know you in Australia, but online, I don't know how they ship things, how your customs. I know that's different. That's difficult too, because I done sent stuff to Australia. Like me and my wife sent stuff for her grandmother. So I know it's shit going through customs is kind of crazy. But yeah, you can order online. Hold on. My bad. Because then we would be on an even playing field. Yeah, see, that's why I don't care about equality. Give me equity. Oh, damn, I wish I was on my phone. I'm going to show you this picture my sister sent me. It's a great example of equity versus equality. But I don't care about equality. I'm not equal to nobody. I don't care to be equal to nobody. That don't interest me. It does nothing for me to be equal. I want the same shit. I want access to the same shit you got. That's what I want. I want access to the same things that you got. Education, find our tribes, put our dough together to build our own community. And Leticia, I'm telling you, I was with a group of people. We were trying to buy, before I had my injury, we was literally trying to buy 2 whole city blocks in Detroit up to start doing that. The group that I was with actually went down to Atlanta, and they're doing it down there now. I didn't get in on that, but when they was trying to do it up here, I was definitely about to get in on it because the way, we even had our own security. Like the plan we had, we was going to secure our own neighborhoods. We didn't need cops. like armed security riding around, and we was gonna start with a 2 block radius. So that's definitely it's just finding a area, But they started it down in Atlanta. They doing it down in Atlanta now. But I'm not moving down south. I'm straight. I love Michigan. I ain't even gonna hold y'all up. Um, I thought about moving back home to Pennsylvania. Like I'm straight. I love it here. Everything I need is right here. I got water, beaches. I get all 4 seasons. Um, we get everything in Michigan. It's also called white fear. What they did to us. You know what? One of my mentors, he an older white dude, and he kicked so much game. This white dude grew up in the hood, so he been around black people his whole life. And when I first met him at the hospital, he was like my biggest cheerleader. And they called him Wigger because they said he wanted to be black. And he said, "No, I just understand right from wrong, and you bastards don't." That's what he used to always say. Like y'all stupid. Y'all don't understand right from wrong. So he put me on so much game. He was the first person that told me that the reason white people fear black people is because I can go in a white person's house and in one generation wipe them out. He told me that. He also told me he told me a lot. He put me on a lot of game. But yeah, that's my dude. That's my buddy. Yeah, I know. I wonder if like I said, you might can even order online. Nah, there ain't nothing wrong with nah, Platty ain't like that. Platty a realist. I mean, she understand. Yeah, it is. It's a big one in Virginia. It's a big one in Virginia. My sister was talking about after she got her doctor's degree. She was talking about trying to get the whole damn family to move down to Virginia. But it's a big one in Virginia. And I'm talking about it's a little town. They got their own stores. She said they building a hospital, so that's deep. I can understand white supremacy because they have the ideology to win at all costs. Yeah, so many cowards and coons. And you know what? That's why I say, you know what, Ryder? I don't know if you've seen the videos, but I was talking about, having black supremacy, or at least black benefit of the doubt. And how does that look? Just taking care of one another, supporting one another, standing up for one another. I can't, you know what? I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't be mad at a race of people for trying to do what they got to do to keep their race on top. It's not. I mean, what in life is fair? Ain't nothing in life fair. But I mean, I'm not gonna be a spoiled loser neither. What happened is fucked up, but I see why they did it. I see why it's done. Self-preservation. And I'm gonna always put the things in my house before I put the things out my house. I'm gonna always take care of what's in here first. Make sure we got everything before I give anything out. I'm gonna always take care of mine first. So I don't blame you. I'm not like you said, I understand it. So there's no purpose of me having an emotion towards it. I'm not gonna be one of them people like, oh, white supremacy is holding me down. No, I'm gonna find a way to make myself better. Fuck that. I'm not accepting it. I ain't taking it. You know, I ain't gonna be one of the people. Fuck that. You can't put pressure on me and think I'm a bust. Yeah, that's the main thing is to protect it. Oh, Patty, you ain't racist. It's South, not Georgia, but they just brought over. Oh yeah, Miss Eve in the building. Miss Eve, how are you? Appreciate you coming through, showing me some love. That's big, Miss Eve. I appreciate you. What you say, Perp? No. Oh nah, Perp. Yeah, nah. You ain't racist. I already know. Every group should put their people first because that's how society looks at it. And yeah, and see, that's what like Leticia said something important. She said tribe. You know, we need to go back to a tribe mentality because all melanated people ain't the same. Even if you believe in a transatlantic slave trade, think about that. We came from different tribes. So even over there, we lived as different people. Them tribes probably communicated, traded, and bartered or whatever, but they didn't live together. They didn't come together as one. And I think that's a distraction. I think we need to just get with like-minded people, people who are willing to build towards the same goals, and we can form new tribes off of that. And you don't have to deal with every melanated person on a specific level, but just if we all come to a common ground to respect one another, I think that'd be huge. If we just come to a common ground, like I said, give each other the black benefit of the doubt before we tear one another down. Let's just not fuck with one another. Like Neely Fuller said, what did he say? If black people, if you ain't building something constructive together, stay the hell away from one another. I fucks with Neely Fuller, and ever since I heard that, I live by that. If I can't build with you, I can't fucks with you. I'm gonna just stay away from you for both of our benefit. Because let's face it, we have been conditioned to compete, and that's just saying it the nicest way I possibly can, is to compete with one another. That's how we've been conditioned, and a lot of us aren't aware of it, so we can't break that download that they put in us. And it happens from generation to generation to generation. But we have the opportunity now with technology to educate one another, so we can start breaking these downloads they gave us. You start getting rid of them, start putting the right shit in. We are here to cooperate with one another, and if we can't do that, we just need to stay the fuck away from one another. That's all. Yeah, that's the sad part. Right, our tribe will require each home to have protection. We will community police, and that's what we was trying to do up here, Leticia. You know, we had former cops and former military willing to take that role, volunteer. It's our community. That's another thing we got to do. We got to be able to sacrifice for the greater good. You know, you have to be willing to sacrifice. Like, why can't I take 3 hours out of my day to patrol my neighborhood to make sure it's safe? Somebody else take. You know what I'm saying? That's a small sacrifice to make. that's a small sacrifice to make. Yeah, hey, I'm telling you, Ryder. Like I said, I used to do real estate, and at the time, well, before I got into real estate, I was practicing Judaism, and one of the dudes who was teaching me, like I didn't go into the synagogue, but one of the doctors I work with, his dad was forgot what they call him, but he was teaching me, and he wanted to sell his one of his rental properties. And when I went into that Jewish community, that shit fucked me up. They had their own, it was cops, but they had like people walking around with suits with guns. And he was like, "Oh, they security. They make sure everything." He said the cops don't really come in this community. We police ourselves. And those aren't for our people. Those are for people who trying to come in to take stuff from us. And I'm looking like that shit fucked my head up. They don't play that shit. Like you'll be surprised. I'm telling you, these other groups of people, they take care of their own and they take care of their shit and they ain't letting nobody come in. And these Jewish people, motherfuckers walking around with them hats and the little curly locks, they wasn't playing. Motherfuckers was packing. I'm looking like, hold on, bro. It's not to be ugly. That's just facts. In our own ways, you have to be like minded to coexist. You especially, and that's the sad part, Leticia. Especially in our own race, you know, in our own race. But to be honest, if you know, like Chinese people and Japanese people, even like with Middle Eastern people, you know, they like that too. They fuck with their own kind. They don't really fuck with like Lebanon, like Assyrian people. They don't really fuck with the Lebanese people or the Jordanian people. They don't even fuck with Muslims. But we try to mesh everything together and think it's gonna work. Like that shit ain't gonna work. It never has. Leticia said loud. Apparently, it would be. Yeah, it'd be hard. That's you have to deal with like-minded people, and like I said, if you ain't dealing with people willing to sacrifice for the group, it ain't gonna work. There are B1 because behind all of many of our greatest. And see that right there, Ryder. Like I've been in groups. I've been in different groups up here and having conversations about that. Especially after Dr. Khalid Muhammad died. Um, that's the problem. That's why I always say we need more. It can't just be a leader. We all have to be developed as a leader because when you cut one head down, you need three more to rise. You have to become a Hydra. That's the only way it'll work. It can't just be one name, one face. Nah, we all have to become leaders. And guess what? The one at the top is the one keeping everybody else cool. So you fuck with him, guess what's gonna happen? Fire and brimstone gonna come out. Nah, Perp. And see, Perp, you a gypsy too. You a gypsy. You got a real in-depth history. I wouldn't even call you white. I don't think as you as white. You a gypsy. You need to learn about them gypsies. I'm telling you. I know you probably know, but nah, I wouldn't even put you in that category. And other groups will identify. And you know what? That's like the Middle Easterns. I know here in Michigan, they fighting back against that because on the census and all records, they don't have Middle Eastern. They have to identify as white. You know, the Middle Easterns. I know in Michigan, I can't speak for any other state but I know most of the places I've been in Michigan that requires you to identify your ethnicity. Middle Eastern people have to identify as white. It's some black Egyptians who come over here. It's this one dude I was helping out by a house, and they wouldn't let him. He was darker than me. I don't know if y'all know how dark I am. I'm more like I'm kind of reddish. I'm copper tone, but he was darker than me, hair kinkier than mine, and they made him identify as white because he was from Egypt. That shit, that shit fucked me up. Yep, that shit fucked me up. They made that man identify as white, and he was from Egypt, darker than me, hair kinkier than mine. Yeah, Tay. No, I'm telling you, the fuckery. That's what it is, man. When they try to like when they say African Americans make 14% of America, that's a damn lie. That's a lie. Nah, I ain't singing that shit. I ain't everyone, but but yeah, you should really dig deep into the gypsy lineage. That shit deep. I was studying the gypsies when I was studying Samaria. Actually, that's when I first when I was studying the lineage of the Sumerians. Like, what people did they end up becoming in modern day? Um, you should study the gypsies. That shit deep. There she go, Rachel. What's up? For that reason, to vet potential threats of code behavior, you have to vet because if you don't if you let the wrong people in, I mean, Judas and the Black Messiah was a prime example. You know, the Fred Hampton story. That shit's so fucked up, man. That shit is so fucked up. And you don't even need that. You can look at modern day, right? You can just look at groups now that we have. In my opinion, look at Al Sharpton. Look at Jesse Jackson. And if you know the history on Jesse, I mean, hey, I'm telling you, bro, bro, that's the biggest. Like, this is my bad. That's one of the biggest. I can't even call it bullshit, but that's one of the biggest lies told in modern day. That we only made 13%. I seen 14. What was it, like 2 days ago? I seen 14%, but that's one of the biggest lies ever. It is what even Mexicans. Um, is some like working in a hospital. You know, you look at a person's chart, it'll say white, and you looking like, man, this dude look Mexican. but they let non-black people identify as white. And like this Mexican dude, he said he'd do it because, um, his last name was Garcia. But when he filling out applications or anything, they see white, they just think he, mixed or white Mexican, and he get more opportunities. I had a dude tell me that for the opportunity. That's why I mark white. And I'm working with him, so that shit worked. He got into the hospital marked as white, and he was Mexican. Yeah, but if you'll let the wrong people in easily. Ain't no way. If anybody trusts the government, especially from what we've seen the last 20 years, that's a choice to be ignorant. That's just my opinion. Fair use, YouTube. That's just a choice, and that's nothing bad against the government because that's their system. You can't. Um, with a lot of these things that we suffer from or we oppressed by, it's their shit. So they dictate how it's ran. They dictate what's distributed. It's their shit. We got to create our own shit. Other races come to this country and develop their own systems within this country. After Rosewood, after Black Wall Street, I don't think we put too much effort into developing our own. I don't know if that scared the shit out of us. I don't know if that beat us down, but we don't develop our own shit. Not even our own school. Like the more I learned, even if you accept, I ain't gonna say even if you accept, but um, if you think about it, what sense does it make? I don't understand the whole civil rights movement. I understand equality, but what sense does it make for us to integrate with the people who oppressed us? That don't make sense. That never made sense. Why would you want to go to their schools? Why would you want them to teach your kids? Because they have better information. Just get the information. Find a way to get what they got. We should have been doing that instead of asking them to let us have. That was our biggest mistake, in my opinion. I think that was a huge mistake. Much about Gypsy. Yeah, you should really do some research. You if you did, you wouldn't call yourself white. I'll tell you that. You wouldn't call yourself white. Leave it up to the government. Melanated people make up the highest number in every negative and lowest number in every positive. Yep. Exactly. Yeah, it's definitely but we accept this shit. That's the whole thing. Like I was listening to Judge Joe Brown when he was on Doha's platform, and he was kicking so much game. He was talking about the notion of power, right? And he was saying power is the influence to make people do what bend to your will. So if you got power, why would you let it go? And you get things from power. That's what we don't seek as a people. We don't seek power, even power over ourselves. We don't even seek power over ourselves. And how do we do that? I mean, we can start by stop. We gotta stop. We gotta stop making these motherfuckers rich. As a people. I mean, individually, we all can buy black. We all can not fuck with these big corporations that don't give nothing back to us. Everybody in this chat can do it, but that shit ain't gonna affect them until all melanated people do it. And if we can come on accord with that, we can start to change. But if we can't, I'm down. I've been down for what Leticia has been talking about for years now. I just fuck with like-minded people and build from there. And whoever want to come and build, guess what? Is the code standards. And if you can't conform, you can't come. Flat and simple. It's sacrifices that's gonna be made for the better of the group. That's like even now when we protest, right? Back in the civil rights days, you know what came with protest? Boycotting. You don't hear nothing about no damn boycotting when people going, what the hell are you going out to march and scream and yell for? You begging. What they did back then was like, this is our list of demands, and if you don't do it, fuck your bus. Fuck your movie theater. Fuck whatever you want our dollars for. You ain't getting them unless you do this. That's how that shit became effective. But now, people won't even stop watching football. Watching, not spending money. I'm talking about just something you occupying your time for. Motherfuckers be mad about George Floyd. The next day, the new J's coming out. They standing in line. What the hell has Michael Jordan did for any of us but entertain? Fun fact. How the hell we are the minorities in this country but make up the majority in the prisons? Bacon makes that. Hey. So what percentages in prison and what percentages out? That's what I want to know too, right? Out of that 13%, what percent is that in the prisons? Because we make up the majority of the prison system. But also, as soon as the melanated people gets rich, some of their own will tell them apart. It's weird as fuck. And that's the competition part. That's the competition part, Patty. Instead of complimenting one another, instead of building with one another, we compete with one another. And that's how we was designed ever since slavery. From my personal studies, that's when that indoctrination started with us going against one another. Because like I said, even tribes in Africa, they didn't really war with one another. Like when you study African history, you see wars that broke out between tribes. That's just mankind. We always go fight, but it wasn't to a level where one tribe was committing genocide on another tribe. But once we came here, we was put up against one another. And it's been like that ever since. Yeah. Do you realize that one plantation had upwards of 100 or more slaves to call another family? Leticia, I can show you, I know for a fact It was 7 plantations in Tennessee, and each of them carried close to 1,200 slaves. 1,200. Most of them, I think that the smaller plantation probably had 100, but it was a whole hell of a lot more than what we think. A whole hell of a lot more. Because you got to remember, too, a lot of the Native Americans, um, and not what they call Native Americans, I'm talking about like my people. At first, they weren't even counted as black people, not until I think they said 100 years in, then they start counting them as Negroes. Oh yeah, yeah. That's why I don't fuck with Jordans. Once I found that out, I stopped. I never bought another pair of Jordans. When I found out Michael was funding prisons, I'm straight. And that's crazy, ain't it, Ryder? The money that we spend on Jordans, he buying prison or building prison is a bit to imagine inside my people. Make it make sense. The truth is there. We just have, yeah, you just gotta want to see it. Stop the damn marching and sing. Hey, look, fair use YouTube. I'm just speaking facts. But Ryder, you say the only way I said I protest if I got my chest guard and my thumper with me. I'm straight. If I protest, it has to. I'm thinking about equality. Equity. If you get riot gear on, I need it too. Fuck, I'm gonna go and protest these motherfuckers. I got water bottles and signs. These motherfuckers got guns. I'm straight. That shit don't even look right, man. Hey, y'all see how them white people protested up here in Michigan and Lansing? The motherfuckers had AR-15s at the Capitol. They wasn't playing. Them white people ain't playing. When they was protesting Governor Whitmore, the motherfuckers showed up at the Capitol of Michigan and Lansing with automatic assault rifles. They wasn't playing, and that's how they protest. But when we protest, we had signs and water to drink. Fuck that. You got me fucked up. I am not going to the other side. The people on the other side got guns, and I'm coming with a sign. I'm straight. That shit sound crazy to me. Okay. The real native, not them $5 ones. Nah, I get so Leticia. You don't understand when I had conversations with people, how upset I get. That's why I just stopped talking to people about my native lineage. I stopped talking to people because a lot of the information I know about my people was passed down. And we all know history has been written by the conquerors, the people who conquer. Any age period we look at, the people who win the wars, who conquer the other people, generally burn their information and write their own story. That's how history works. So understanding that, me trying to explain to people, you just get into debates, and then people Google everything. Nah, they ain't gonna own up to it. Because if you think about it, even if you think about, because even if you accept the transatlantic slave trade, being taken from one land to another land, that's technically an act of war. So those slaves were prisoners of war, and under the Geneva Code, they owe reparations. So now, if you say you came over here and conquered these people and took their land, they owe reparations. So that's why they can't tell you what they did to the Native Americans. and they gave them, like you said, them $5 ones. They gave them some bread. Just claim that this happened, say that this happened, and we gonna take care of y'all. And that's basically what they did. That's basically what they did. Yeah, this was a deep conversation. Leticia, you should have hit the panel. You and Tay, that would have been fun. Tay, I'm still waiting to do that show with you too. That's because they didn't commit any of my people out of slavery. Yes, over time they committed genocide to my people, but they didn't delete millions of my people at one time. That's facts. Yeah, but that's why I tell people at the end of the day, you can't get rid of um, even the Bible tells you can't get rid of the chosen people. You can't. That's impossible. I mean, it's been. I mean, even if you think about it, like in Australia, the Aborigines there, the Tasmanians. There's been other groups around this world, mass genocide, the people gone. Why didn't they do that to us? You can't. There's a reason why they gotta keep. There's a reason why we kept around. Like you were saying the other day, Leticia, there's a reason why they shooting them chemtrails and trying to block out the sun. And we need to go out. Look, against no other group of people, but let me give you a little bit of science. So in Egyptian lore, you have Atum, and Amen. They'll tell you those three different deities, but there's actually the cycle of the sun. The sun rising, the sun at its highest peak, and the sun setting. What up, Tay?
What up, word? You hear me?
Yeah,
Oh, okay. What's up? I just came through hollering.
I appreciate you. I'm bad. I didn't even know. Nate told me yesterday you was on, and he was like, you was on at the same time. I'm like, damn, I didn't get the notification. I would have definitely hit that, push that back.
I was on my other channel. You good? I was on my channel. I be bullshit now. You know. I was over there. So
Yeah, I gotta slide through there.
yeah, it's all good. Catch me one time. But what video you wanted me to take a look at?
It's let me look at my phone. I forgot what I named. Oh, our man, the reason why black women are so aggressive. And this is my thought. We talked about this too, but when you was talking about the root chakra, I was like, oh shit, I didn't even look at it from that perspective. Um, but my thought was this: men ain't here to protect or provide for women the way that we supposed to. So women had to accept that role. And when anybody is protecting, you have to be aggressive to protect. So if a man is not there doing his role as a protector and a woman has to do it, of course she will be aggressive.
Right. We just kind of taking over y'all role
Mm-hmm.
in a sense, But I don't know. Hopefully, things will change for the black male. Just things will just change. And a woman can be a woman again, and a man can be a man again.
Yeah, this whole role reversal. Um, I can understand, like I said, from the woman's standpoint, I can understand. But from a man's standpoint, I don't see the benefits of being emotional, over emotional. All men, I mean, I have emotions, I do. But being over emotional, not wanting to provide and protect, I don't understand the benefits of that.
Mm-hmm. Cause men will bash men. Men will say, "Oh, he a simp," or "He this, he that," because he taking care of his woman.
Hmm.
What's her name? Sierra with what's her husband name? That
Russell
football
Wilson,
player. Yeah, everybody be like clowning him like he a simp. Like that man is taking care of his wife. He takes care of his kids. Why y'all why do black men clown him for that?
because they too weak to do it. So they got to make it look bad. You see what I'm saying? Is I don't think a lot of people like responsibilities. I think people look for the easy way out. Like I said, it's not easy. Just me in the way I am. It's not easy being a man, but it's gratifying. It is. It feels good, but it's not easy. It takes work. It takes humility. There's a lot of things you have to do, but it's at the end of the day, it's gratifying. I can hold my head up and stick my chest out because I'm displaying what I'm saying. I don't have to tell people I'm a man. They can tell by the way I walk and the way I talk.
Right. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But like you say, men, y'all do be having that ego, and y'all be wanting to feel, like you're taking care of your family, like you're doing something. Because honestly, the female that will help you get to where you're going, you'll leave her and then get with somebody else. That's personally how I feel. Some men that do, because it's like she helped you. Now you want to give it to somebody else who, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I just think it's
And,
weird.
and see, that's why I like the idea too of the tribe mentality. And I think by doing that, we can create a new identity and let these I don't want to call people has-beens, but let the people who don't want to conform have that title that was given to them. We can. I think we all educated. We all smart enough. We all strong enough to take back our own identity. And if we don't know what we was, why can't we create something new? It's fresh now. It has no stigma attached to it, and we can move forward with it. I don't understand. Like when I look at history, I don't understand why we allow people to identify us.
True. Yeah, basically, because when you get an application, you got different races, and you are expected to check one of those, races.
And
And that's
look,
just like when you were speaking on about how he couldn't identify as black, he had to identify as white. And
yep,
they just be lying, bro. They be lying. They want everybody, if you're not black, they want you to identify as something else. They don't want
yep,
Hispanics identifying as black. That's why I think it's so weird. Like on applications, they'll be like, "Are you Hispanic or or you non-Hispanic or African American?"
yep.
They try to separate the two. They want you to be Hispanic or African. You can't, they don't want the Hispanics and Africans saying that they're African or that they're black.
And see, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if people can change their gender, that should help us understand we have the power to re-identify ourselves.
It's crazy now that this gender they having people change their gender. What really pisses me off, and I am not against any of the gays or anything like that. Yo, do what you do if that's what you want to do. But when they try to knock the a woman off the map, like if she don't exist, that's what mind boggles me. It's like, how can you come through and just call yourself a mother? Call yourself. I mean, I understand. Okay, men are now. Well, men can't have babies, but they be trying to, trying to
They
do that stuff.
even with that, I did a video about is a concept, but we all know what a concept is, something they working on. But that artificial womb, and from that, from looking at that, it's like they trying to eliminate women.
Right, and that's why I don't like that. It's like you're trying to eliminate women and push them off the map. Like that's what makes me upset about the gays
Yeah,
on that part. It's like, no, okay, you want to be a woman, fine, but don't try to wipe us out, the original ones, the ones that you're trying to imitate and be like.
and this is no knock against gay people, but I gotta ask somebody else this question. And since you're here, I'm gonna ask you. But for a man who was born a man to be a woman, don't ain't it acting involved? Don't you have to act like a woman? It's not natural. So you have to act. So how can you be considered a woman if you have to act? That don't make sense to me. Like that,
True.
like having conversations with people. Like I said, I don't care what nobody. If people want to run around with Spider-Man uniforms, as long as they ain't fucking with me and mine, I'm cool. I don't care. Have fun, enjoy life. But if you have to act, then therefore you're not. If you have to try to emulate something, you're acting. You're not. It's not naturally coming out. And like this whole, like I asked a person before, what makes you gay? Well, I'm attracted to the same sex. Attraction is a feeling, is an emotion. Those can change at any time. So for
Mhm.
you to say you born some way, that don't make sense to me. Like no, it don't. Like when you sit back and you think about it, none of it makes sense. Because to have even sex, you choose to have sex. That's an action. So what makes you feel like you're not what you are?
Mhm.
Like that can't really be defined, but they get more rights and rules and regulations than a natural person. That shit ain't cool. And then you taking rights away from me, my freedom of speech, because what I
Right.
say might hurt somebody's feelings. What about my feelings? What about when you showing black man getting killed on TV? That is psychologists saying that shit causes post traumatic stress disorder. So why are you showing it?
Mhm.
Like that's I don't rock with that. I don't rock with that shit. Don't tell me I have freedom, and then when I try to use it, you say, "Well, you can use it as long as you don't offend this person," but don't nobody give a fuck about what offends me.
Or you try to teach it to our kids in
Yeah,
school.
like that
You don't
offends
teach
me.
them nothing else, but you teach them that in school, or you put it in cartoons.
That
Hmm.
shit crazy. I was just my son just watched something on YouTube. Oh, what is that balloon dude? That wasn't on YouTube. It was on Disney. Um, Big or something like that. The little it's like a inflatable robot. Anyway, it was I'm listening. He watching TV, and then I heard this man say, "Well, he don't want to go on a date." And I looked up like, "Oh hell no!" and turned the TV.
They put it in cartoons. Just sit there and listen. It's crazy. And then think about it when we was kids and stuff like that. Like I think it was like the Teletubbies. Wasn't they
Yeah,
like supposed to be gay? And Bert and Ernie, weren't they gay?
yeah.
Like,
That.
yo, they was putting it in cartoons. It's
Hey, you
crazy.
know what? You know what, Ryder? I be a simp. You know, I don't really care about all these categories people got. Like trying to live up to, like even when they say alpha male, like that's some Ryder put me up on game on that, and I looked that shit up. Ryder, that shit fucked me up, bro. When you talk about that's some Greek shit, and with their understanding, we using these terms and not knowing the history behind it. But the alpha males in Greek culture, the alpha males mounted the beta males. And we running around talking about we alphas like, bro, get that shit away from me. Y'all don't even know what y'all accepting all these terms and trying to live up to them and don't even know the origin. It's power in the words. It's
Hmm.
concepts. Words are concepts. Perp said, hey, Tay.
Hey, Bert. Hey, girl. Hey. But I don't know. So what do you think simping is?
Um, I mean, from their definition, I mean, you know what? Honestly, I didn't look it up. Honestly, I haven't looked it up. But something to me, um, I just like we use the word nigga. I take the simp word and empower. It just means taking care of your woman. And if I'm a simp because I take care of my woman, so be it. Oh well. Because like I said, people um, to throw out words like that because people are doing something that you can't live up to, that just shows weakness, especially in men. You know, to challenge a way a man is treating a woman because he treating her good, and now you want to throw a stigma on him because you don't want to treat a woman like that. And now you're just trying to make it look bad because what he's doing making your actions look bad. You weak, and that's the nicest way I can say it. Instead of you just putting on your pants and doing what you're supposed to do
As a man.
as a man, you know what I'm saying? Because you want to dog a woman out, and you think because I don't want to cuss and yell and belittle my woman that I'm a simp because my woman asked for something. Well, maybe my woman doing more than your woman. That's why my woman can get what she asked for.
Right. Or maybe you're making enough to where you can be able to provide that for your woman. Don't
Exactly.
get mad at me because you can't afford to do that for your woman.
And see, a lot of times that's what we do as men. Well, I'm not even gonna say as men. These grown ass boys, instead of they try to redefine shit. Even a man. How can you be a man if you land on the couch and a woman going to work and you're a baby? You know what pisses me off? I hate when dudes say I'm babysitting my kid. Like, how the fuck you gonna babysit your kid?
For real.
That shit don't even make sense. But that's how people think. Oh, I gotta watch my kid. No, you gotta nurture your kid. You gotta raise your child or rear. If Queen Snow Bunny was in there, she'd say rear. But that's what you gotta do with your kids. When I first heard that concept, it's a dope concept. It's just a word. Like I don't know if I can say rear my children. That shit don't sound right. But looking it up is facts because that's nurturing. Raising is just getting it to age. But when you rear something, I think it's like second or third definition is to raise and nurture in a positive light or something like that, in a positive way. So that's what I mean. These words have meaning to them.
Yeah.
First time when I had my checkup, Hey, you know what, Ryder? I put Native American now. They be getting mad. Did you have a blood test? Like you can't get a blood test to know you're native. It's the lineage, it's the heritage. Do you have paperwork? Do you ask everybody else? Do they get paperwork? Well, if
Right.
they look, no, don't question me. This is what I am. If a boy can say he a girl, you gonna leave me the hell alone. I can say whatever the hell I am then, and this is what I am. That's why I say that don't the hypocrisy is in this country is crazy. It's crazy. Who wanted to fit what the colonizer asked for the census to be changed in the 1800s?
But they didn't change it.
And see, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think is at some point we need to reestablish our own identity. I mean, we did it when they took the name Negro, when we took the name African American. You know, thanks Jesse Jackson.
Man.
All right, but I got a huge disdain for that man. I wish I never read up on Jesse Jackson.
What
Like
you
my
read up
grandmother,
about him?
man,
Mm.
the whole thing about Martin Luther King, the whole thing about um, selling out to the CIA. Well, all allegedly, fair use YouTube. Um, like Jesse basically sold us out, and he's still doing it.
Yeah, I don't fool with them. Jesse or what's his name?
Al.
Yeah, for real. Al, another one.
Yeah, these
And that other guy that got to be on CNN, Ronald Martin, I don't like him either.
oh yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like he a sellout too.
A lot of them people, they sell out for a position, you know, for a comfortable little position. There's a lot of people like that that we hold in high regard. I mean, even people go get mad. Even LeBron. I mean, even LeBron. And that's the sad thing. We ain't got no more Muhammad Ali's.
You know, I live here in San Antonio, so I live here with a lot of, Hispanic, Mexican people, but they would never say that they consider themselves, black or whatever you want to call the ethnicity or, race or whatever. They would never consider themselves to be a native or African American, black or whatever you want to call it. They just don't. They will look at you crazy like, what?
And they got
They get
they got their
offended.
own. Yeah, it's I think it's us. I think the Hebrews for that. Um, the Hebrew Israelites when they was looking for the lost tribe. You know, that's the first time I heard that concept because it wasn't like the Mexicans. It was more the Dominicans, the Haitians.
Dominicans, they don't like to be called black either.
Oh shit! I got a couple Dominican cousins. Well, no, actually, I'm lying. They Haitians and Cubans.
You ain't
Um,
seen that. Go ahead.
it's the Haitians and Cubans. Well, no, you said I didn't see what.
That the comedian. What's his name? I think the God or what is his name? Godfrey. That Dominican when he be like he tell Dominican, oh, you black, and he said, me not black, me not black, and he like your hair look like mine, and he like I know, but me not black.
Yeah, because what was it? The Dominicans was taken over by the Spaniards, and I think the Haitians was taken over by the French. So usually when the Spaniards took over people, they indoctrinated them into their culture. So that's why a lot
Okay.
of Mexicans don't identify with us, and a lot of and the Dominicans, it's the Haitians.
Well, right, but how you Mexican and you speaking Spanish? Wouldn't you be speaking Mexican?
See, that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I be trying to tell people. Uh, Spanish is not a Mexican language. That's from
Right. That was
Spain.
adopted from the
Yeah,
Spain. Yes.
it wasn't adopted. It was indoctrinated. They killed your ass if you ain't speaking. If you ain't accept all that shit, they killed you. So like y'all was forced to speak that. But my blood test indicates I have native DNA, and I'm telling you, a lot of us, not a color yet, a lot of us, and even Leticia, let me ask you this question: did you do your DNA before? What was it? I think it's 2015, 2016. Did you do your DNA? Because if you try to do it now, I promise you it won't say that no more.
And Leticia, there's
You-
nothing wrong with claiming your nationality, but they never want to consider themselves another race or another ethnicity. Like they never say they're black, even though we all know black is not the proper thing. Tomato, tomato. Everybody, we all know.
And
Okay.
see, a lot of even like even me, like I tell people, like I know what I am, you know, but when I'm communicating with people, I always identify as black, but I know, I know I'm native, and I know I was here before Columbus ass came. But for conversational purposes and communicational purposes, I do identify as black, because that's what society one identifies me as, and if I'm communicating with a melanated person and we just having general conversation, like people will be listening to this, I'm identified with something that they can understand. But I'm not denying, I'm not gonna deny it. But like if we get into deep conversation, black is a color, it's not a people. So yeah, I understand that, but oh okay. Okay. Mexicans are Spaniards mixed with tribes of Mexico. I believe this is why they call it Spanish. Yeah, most Latin countries call it Spanish. Yeah, that's why they call it Spanish. They was conquered. They had to take, just like we speak English. We don't speak our native language because we was conquered. The conquerors dictate. You know what the conquered people not only do and say, but what they believe. But my nationality, exactly. I am a native of Turtle Island. And you know what, Leticia? I think moving forward, um, I'm gonna just clarify that to people. You know, you see, I'm talking about issues that uh, black people have and my people have, but I have to tell you, I have to use the correct lingo. I'm a native of Turtle Island. You're right. You're 100% right about that. Yeah, I was trying to learn Portuguese. Is similar, but it's different from Spanish. It's different. I was trying to learn it, but I didn't have the patience to keep following through. I ended up learning. picking up Tagalog, Philippine, because I worked around a lot of Filipino people, and it was easier. I ain't gonna lie, it was just easier to pick up. So I start. Damn, all my shit about to go dead. Yeah, my both my devices about to go dead. So I'm I appreciate everybody. This was a good conversation, but I think I'm gonna shut it down. Um, it's 2:30 where I'm at. I appreciate y'all building with me. Leticia and Tay, I want to get on a panel with y'all. And Leticia, I'm gonna be begging you forever to get up here. You and Ryder, I'm gonna be begging you, y'all to get up here. But yeah, I appreciate y'all coming through. And I want to talk about the chakra system because I think that's something that they can be useful if we have at least a general understanding, or at least if I spark something in you to go learn more about it. I think it'll be beneficial because that's one of the things that helped me see things for what it is and accept things for what it is opening up my chakra system. And it's something that's 100% real, I promise you. Once you start indulging into it and you open that one chakra up, the root chakra, once you get that one flowing, you'll feel totally different. Yeah. Yeah, they it's something. I gotta find this book. Damn it. I can't think of it right now. But it's an interesting relationship between Italians and Spaniards. What book was that? I got a book and it was telling I wandered into it. I think somebody gave it to me. But it's a deep history because you got Italians and you got the Sicilians. And they don't really fuck with each other because I believe it's the Spaniards I think they have like Sicilian. But Leticia, something deep. The original Spaniards, they was melanated people too. The original Spaniards. Like the ones who went and conquered Mexico, they were actually melanated people. They were dirt people. That's where you get Moors from. Morocco. But yeah, let me get off of here. I appreciate everybody rocking with me. And if I say anything in this video that resonated with you, do me a favor. Share it. Help me spread the word. Yeah, the Moors. Hey, the Moors is deep. It's so like we only got a basic understanding of the Moors. Well, I ain't gonna say everybody, but what was commonly known about Moors, that's not even scratching the surface. And Islam is a science. Islam is a science. And when you understand the science of Islam, the religion makes more sense when you understand the science. But it's like a key to reading the Quran is understanding the science of Islam is the key of reading the Quran. Just like reading the Bible, if you understand the universal laws, you look at the Bible a little different when you read it. Oh yeah. Hey, when you and then they try to keep you away from that information, Leticia. That's why even like when we talk about the Illuminati now, it's not what we think it is. It's not. It's not. The Illuminati is not what we think it is. But yeah, they tell us these stories to keep us away from this stuff. Just like in Kemet, they tell you all these bad things about Egypt to keep you away from it. Because when you start looking at it, the people look more like you, and you start resonating with a lot of the information coming out of there. It makes sense to you. That's like, you know what? Yeah, think about this too. Egypt is the only landmass that has a study behind it. There's no Greekology or Romanatology or none of that, but it's Egyptology. Like they built a whole study behind it, and it's for a reason. Because that's like somebody coming in your house, looking at your pictures and things in your house, and then walking out and trying to break down how you were or how you are because they walked in your house and seen stuff. They might get some stuff right, but a lot of it is going to be unknown to them. And that's the same thing about Egypt. But when if you go there or you look at the thing, it makes sense to you because it's literally encoded in your DNA. You know, Leticia, they found a monument to Isis and Osiris in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. So we was over here too with it. But yeah, it's deep. But I'm gonna get out of here. But that's all I got for y'all. And do me a favor, if you ain't do it already, hit that like for me. And if you new, hit that subscribe. You know, conversations build nation. I'm the word, man. I'm out. And appreciate you. Appreciate you for holding me down again.